What kind of neighbor crashes your wedding in a haunted attic gown, while VYing a plastic knife and screaming she owns your backyard? That was the question Sarah, faced on what was supposed to be the happiest day of my life. The morning sun filtered through the oak trees, casting golden patches on the grass where caterers darted with trays and a violin quartet tuned their strings in the backyard of our cozy suburban home. I was about to marry Noah, my fiancé. Under the fairy lights we'd strung up ourselves, our hands tangled in laughter and wire. Our small, heartfelt ceremony was meant to be a celebration of love, quiet moments, and the home we'd built together. But in our sleepy cul-de-sac, perfection was a ticking bomb, and our neighbor, Carla, was about to light the fuse, turning my wedding into a viral nightmare that would spark debates about sanity, boundaries, and suburban grudges for weeks. Carla wasn't your average neighbor. In her late 50s, single, and always sporting a VY sword like it was her royal crest, she patrolled our street like an unofficial dictator. Her notes about unmowed lawns or stray delivery boxes were legendary, written in a jagged scrawl that felt like a jab. Noah and I had shrugged off her quirks when we moved in 2 years ago, chuckling at her overzealous neighborhood standards. But her need for control turned sinister the night Noah proposed. Under the twinkling lights in our backyard, I said yes, my heart soaring, unaware that Carla was watching from her upstairs window, binoculars flashing like a hawk's eyes. When I glanced up, her window slammed shut so hard the glass seemed to scream. That was the first red flag. We wanted a simple wedding in our backyard, where our nephew's swing hung and memories of summer barbecues lingered like warm smoke. We sent save-the-date cards for a small gathering, but one showed up on our porch, returned with a sticky note in Carla's handwriting. "Saw must be nice to flaunt your noise permits." So I laughed, thinking it was just her usual pettiness. She wasn't in VY Ted, after all. But Carla had bigger plans. At the next HOA meeting, she stormed in like a general, armed with a PowerPoint titled "Saw Marital Madness Looms Saw." Her slides showcased our yard, accusing us of decibel violations and VY soil chaos, with diagrams that looked like war maps. The board, unimpressed, greenlit our permits, and Carla left in a huff, muttering about bylaws and betrayal. I didn't realize then that she'd cast me as the VY lane in her twisted story. Her behavior got weirder. She'd knock on our door with, neighborly, tips a coupon for a florist selling plastic flowers to cover your sad lawn, or a pitch for her friend Linda, a hairdresser with zero wedding experience but a Pinterest obsession. When I politely declined, her smile tightened like she'd bitten a lime. She started lurking, spraying her driveway with a leaky hose while we practiced our first dance or tested the lights. One night, a buzzing noise led us to a drone hovering over our punch bowl. It clipped a string of lights and crashed. Carla denied owning it, but we later spotted her in a Facebook group as Saw Sky Queen 59 Saw. The week before the wedding, fake HOA notices flooded our mailbox, printed on plain paper and signed "Saw President Carla Saw." One called our grass a flea haven, another warned of unholy rituals. The real HOA head, Mr. Thompson, confirmed they were fake, so we added extra cameras. The rehearsal dinner was Carla's boldest move yet. She showed up in VY Ted, wearing a dollar store veil and clutching a Tupperware of coleslaw. "Every wedding needs tradition," she chirped, raising a glass of lemonade to toast. "Destiny and unclaimed hearts." My uncle thought she was a hired act. When we asked her to leave, she snapped, "Weddings can be cursed, you know," and tripped over a lantern as she stormed off. Noah joked she'd given up, but I felt a storm brewing, heavy and silent. Wedding morning dawned bright, with guests wooing over the flowers and soft music. But a half-deflated balloon tied to our mailbox, scrawled with "Saw Bad Luck Saw," set my nerves on edge. It felt like Carla's handwriting, a warning of chaos. As the quartet played and I stepped down the aisle, a scream shattered the air. All eyes turned to the back fence, where Carla, in a floor-length lace gown that looked like it was dug from a cursed trunk, was scaling the planks. Her tiara gleamed, her dress ripped, and she landed in my roses, clutching a Bluetooth speaker blasting the bridal march. "I object!" she shrieked, like she was auditioning for a soap opera. "This was my saw day!" guests gasped. The quartet stumbled. My aunt collapsed in her chair. Carla stomped toward the altar, petals stuck to her veil, yelling, "This is my saw venue! I booked it first!" She waved a plastic cake knife from her waistband and a crumpled paper she called a contract. My cousin Ethan, a deputy, stepped up, badge shining. He glanced at the papera takeout menu with glitter scribbles reading "Saw Carla's forever vows Saw." "Carla, you need to go," he said calmly. She ignored him, ranting about emotional thieves and a barbecue where Noah promised her cake first. Noah whispered, "It was just cake for everyone." But I was too shocked to speak. Carla's tirade grew: unhinged betrayal, soulmates, sacred property lines. She flung a bouquet of dead daisies at the altar, sobbing, "You stole my fate!" Ethan gently took the knife and led her away, her cries of, "Love like this brings a curse," echoing. The officiant coughed. "Shall we try again?" Laughter eased the tension, and the ceremony went on, but the damage was done. Our wedding was now a viral clip, with guests posting slow-motion edits captioned "Saw neighbor steals the spotlight Saw." We thought it was over, but Carla wasn't done. The next morning, a cop-out Ethan knocked. Carla had filed a trespassing claim, while viewing a fake lease from a bankrupt event planner. It was dismissed, but her nerve was chilling. By noon, her drone was back, buzzing our patio. Our cameras caught her in her yard, steering it while licking a popsicle. Then came 6 identical letters in our mailbox, demanding we undo the emotional harm, or face consequences. One included a due law $1,200 bill for noise distress, with a note, "Saw I take PayPal." Saw. We sent a cease and desist through a lawyer friend, but Carla doubled down. She set up lawn chairs along her property line, facing our yard like a warlord, muttering, "Eagle One, eyes on the groom," into a walkie-talkie while snacking and propping up a cardboard groom cutout. She filed real HOA complaints, claiming our floral arch ruined street symmetry, and our music disrupted all migration. Mr. Thompson, exhausted, mumbled about retiring to write novels. I fought back with a 6-foot inflatable bride and groom that played the wedding march when triggered. Carla covered her windows with foil and hung a sign, "Saw no love zone Saw." Local kids turned our street into a social media stunt, daring each other to kiss near the inflatables and dodge Carla's glares. Then came a twist. Carla's brother, VY sided, soft-spoken with a worn binder. He apologized, showing a photo of a young Carla in our backyard, then an empty lot. "She was supposed to marry here," he said. Her fiancé, Tom, cheated with her best friend. She canceled the wedding but never healed. Our ceremony, the first in that yard since her heartbreak, broke something in her. "She thinks the land remembers," the VYD sighed. It explained her obsession but didn't justify it. She saw us as robbers of her lost dreams. Carla's stunts escalated. She buried a plastic box in our garden, wedding-themed salt shakers, a one-armed Ken doll, and a note, "Saw this could have been us, but you chose chaos." Saw our cameras caught her sneaking in at night, whispering and circling the spot. One night she burned our wedding program in her grill, toasting a marshmallow over it. Ethan filed a police report, warning she was unhinged. Her boldest move was a 15-page letter to the HOA, written in cursive, demanding a cleansing ritual to erase our wedding's marriage energy. She claimed her ferns died, her Wi-Fi lagged, and her dog was acting widowed. Mr. Thompson forwarded it with a note, "Saw I'm not paid for this." Saw we tried to reclaim our joy with a post-wedding barbecue, complete with a mock altar for laughs. Carla countered by flashing sunlight into guests' eyes with a mirror and blasting a sound machine of monk chants and wolf howls. Then silence. For weeks, her yard was still, her blinds shut. Neighbors joked she'd been whisked away or was meditating her demons out. The quiet felt heavier than her chaos. Then a flyer appeared on our door, glossy and dramatic, showing Carla in a veil, arms raised. Saw Sacred Closure Ceremony, one woman show by Carla V. Saw it read, inviting the neighborhood to her backyard that Saturday. Noah and I stood at the back of the crowd, wary but curious. At 6 p.m., Carla emerged barefoot in a white robe dripping with glitter and beads, holding a microphone and fake lilies. Her voice was steady, theatrical, spinning a tale of lost dreams and a desecrated yard. She paced, pointing to the sky, her words a mix of poetry and pop psychology. Some neighbors snickered, but her tone shifted. Her voice broke as she spoke of Tom's betrayal, the wedding she'd planned in that very yard. "When I saw another couple stand where I was meant to," she said, staring at our fence, "it shattered something I couldn't fix." She admitted her pain, her delusion of being the bride she never was. The crowd went quiet. It wasn't funny, it was raw, heartbreaking. Carla raised her lilies and said, "This is me burying the bride I never became." She dropped them into a pre-dug hole, covered it with dirt, and walked inside without a word. No one clapped. The silence was thick, like we'd seen a wound exposed. That night, Noah and I sat under our fairy lights, wrestling with what we'd witnessed. "Was it real or another act?" he asked. "Maybe both," I said. "But it feels done." It was. Carla's chaos stupid, no drones, no letters, no mirrors. She even waved once, not kindly, but without malice. She planted real flowers, no hidden notes. The neighborhood buzz died down, and our wedding video became about love, not Carla's scene. On our 1-month anniversary, a package arrived, no sender. Inside was a wooden box with a plastic cake topper, bride and groom, slathered in glitter paint. A card read, "Saw you keep the love, but the drama was mine." Saw we laughed, not out of fear, but because it was Carla, taking her final bow. Our wedding wasn't the fairy tale we dreamed of. It was messy, wild, and controversial, a saga of obsession that sparked arguments about mental health, privacy, and neighborhood feuds. Some called Carla a victim of her past, others saw her as a menace. But in a world of cookie-cutter parties, she gave us a story no one could forget, a twisted gift we never wanted, but one that made our love unforgettable.